So Liquidum. This is going to be a proper formal review because
It's marvelous.
Liquidum from Marvelous Soft, because I have actually played far too much Liquidum. I was having fun with this on my PC, but then I discovered they also have an Android version, and I downloaded that, and yeah, I've been ripping through that during all my commutes. Let's see. I'm just going to bring up my notes so I don't forget to say things. So Liquidum is basically it's a very simple. No, it's not simple. Don't say that. How can I say that? It's a straightforward, is it nonogram game? We're going to work out which cells are active using the information provided. But that's actually a riff off, I think it's the aquarium variant, where, you can only fill cells up as if they're filled with water. This is actually a pretty bad first two levels, so I got to say this, because I got completely confused. Because this is just straightforward, I've got to find out which ones are lit up or not. So here you go in the first one. That's all three, because the indicator says 3. And then from then on, you can work forwards and say, okay, so there's nothing in these. I'm using the right click here to do that. And then I can work out these must have water in them because it's 2. And that leaves me with just this one to fill up. I'm just using the numbers on the edge. This is a pretty straightforward puzzle. And then the second one, the very second level, gives you what it's really all about. And actually, that's not true. It's not even the second level, is it? Because these are all still very separated. You can see now we've got question marks to make it more difficult. Let's go back again. Third one. There we go. Finally, we get to the aquariums. So I actually found it very confusing because I thought it was supposed to be aquariums to begin with, and I was like, "Well, I don't understand. Why is there water in each one?" That's because it's for the first 2 levels, so just to refresh your puzzle solving ability for these type of puzzles. So here we've got 2 separate sections, and what you can't do, it's designed so that you can't make mistakes. What I mean is you can't see if something works or not and see like, well, if I put something here, can I put something in another cell? Basically, it's like, like Minesweeper. If you try and put something in and it's incorrect, then you'll just instantly get told it's incorrect and you'll get a mistake lodged against you. So you can put these X's in as any way you want. But so Cool Nico says I disabled mistakes in the options. I probably should have done that. But its default is to show you the mistakes. It is true. I remember seeing the option wondering, what does that mean? Disable mistakes. I should have done that. You can, what's this saying? This means in this row you have to have 3. And there's 2 aquariums. So the only way to get 3 at the top here is to fill up this entire box. So if I just click on anywhere at the top, see, that's satisfied now. And this wants 2, and the only way to get 2 is to have these bottom 4 filled up. There we go, and it's done. It's the simple aquarium puzzle. Try and figure out which aquariums are full up or and with how much. And it gets more complicated by you get let's go. That's what we got here. What's on the second set? You've got these indicators saying like if you have all the cells which are lit up have to be together. That's the what the curly brackets mean, and the dashes mean you have to have at least 2 sections. They have to be split up. They cannot be together. So if I look at this, what am I seeing? So we've got a 3 across here. It's fine. 3 split up here. So basically, if you've got 3 split up across 4, there's got to be a gap in the middle somewhere. That means there's got to be something on the edges. That's the only way to do that. Same deal here. And this one says we've got to have 3 together. 1, 2, 3. That one must be empty now. Again, 3 together. The only way that works is like that. Notice the together doesn't necessarily mean it means in the same aquarium. These are all individual, aquariums. They just need to be next to each other. It doesn't mean they need to be like physically in the same container. We've got another 3 split here, and across the bottom. What are we looking at? Yeah, there we go. Continue. And then we go on to... is this the diagonals? Yeah, it is. Then you get the diagonals to make things a little bit more confusing. This is where it really starts to get interesting, I find. And you've got the requirements can now be for half full sections. So we've got down at the bottom here, you've got to have 2.5 across this bottom row. So that means you've got to have a half, right? So either this or this has got to be filled. So 2.5. If there's the only way to get 2 here is to fill up this middle section, right? If I started with this, there's no way I'm going to get a 2. So I'm going to have to, it's definitely this section in the middle here. I need 1 in the middle. Oh, this is 1.5 here, these 2 sections. So they can't be right. So I can actually put the X on the halves. And then on the outside here, so it's one of these must be set. We know that one's empty, and that's empty. This up here is asking for half a cell. So it's either this or this up here. Can anything else give us... Oh, hang on. No, that's 1. Sorry. Made a mistake. Without making a game mistake. 1 means I need both of these halves. There we go. We've got a 1.5 here. So that's 1.5. Oh, we can't go in here because that would fill the whole thing down the bottom here. We know those have to be left free. So 1.5. So that could be this side or it could be this side. But this says we finished in this column already. 0.5. So it must be this left side. And we just got this top row to sort out. So yeah, 0.5. The only available space we could put this in now is in this corner. So that's the kind of tutorial puzzle there. The ones with the little boat symbols on, or should we say a shark's fin? Maybe it's a shark's fin, right? I thought it was a boat symbol, but I think it's a shark's fin now I think about it. These are the hard ones. Officially the hard ones. It looks like I haven't done them. I have. I just did them all on the mobile. Now, some of the other requirements. What else have we got here? That's for rafts. So then this throws in the boat mechanic, which is another additional strand of complexity, where you have to put a boat on top of the water. And so, does it show you if you make a mistake? Asks Mystic Sailboat. So on this level, if I try and put a boat somewhere where I know it's not, where do I know it's not? Not on the bottom. It can't be on the bottom because it's not above water. See, it says a red. It goes red. Oh, that's bad. I got mistakes. Let's try and switch this, the gameplay, to allow mistakes and see what happens. Oh, it's still showing I've made a mistake. But it's not counting the number of mistakes. I'm just going to put that back. I've got this on the dark mode, by the way. It's not the default that it comes with. I found the it was a bit too bright, and there's a dark mode. There are other palettes, and you can play around with the blue light, but I found this this default was better. So I need to put in some, so it's telling me one boat's in this column, one boat here. I need 2 boats across here as well. So Mystic Sailboat, that's literally the same sailboat from GameIcons.net I used for one of my older profile pictures. Kuliko is saying you should try placing water where you can't and you'll see it will let you if you allow mistakes. Oh, okay. All right, let's go back and do that. Come on. Allow mistakes back. All right. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I can fill up the whole thing. Fantastic. I should have been playing with allow mistakes from the beginning. That's made me happier. Okay, we'll go with that. So we need 4.5 on the bottom. It's a 5 across, so we need to get rid of our half somewhere, and that can only be done in here. So that must mean the entire bottom row must be full like that. We need to place 2 boats here and 2 boats here. Now a boat can only go in an empty cell, an empty full cell above water. So you can't put a boat inside this triangle section on the right here. It has to go in one of these big honking empty ones. So where do I think it might go? And at the top. Okay, so the fact that there's 2 in the top and there's only 2 spaces you can put the boats there. They must go here and here. Notice it will fill up the water if you put a boat above an empty space. And in the middle here, oh well, this is telling us that has to go there and that has to go there. Puzzle solved. Continue. You do get an extra icon. I'm just going to pick up another one here. You do get an extra icon to mark where there aren't boats. But I found that not very useful. I've generally used that to place where I think a boat might be. So I've actually used it in the reverse of what it's supposed to be needed for. Now you see this one has got a boats missing criterion, and there's another criterion which I think I probably skipped over where it says how much water is missing. You need to add, it'll tell you how many cells that are supposed to be filled with water. I find those quite tricky. Some of them are useful for like the end game where you're just trying to figure out the last few cells to click on, but there are a few puzzles, and they're not my favorites, where you actually have to figure out much earlier from how much water is remaining. But generally it's used to help you through the last few drops. But this is telling us we have 1 boat is on here somewhere. Alright, so if I was a boat, where would I be? So I could put a boat here, because there's an empty cell underneath, here or here, and here. Or here and here. There's a lot of spaces I could put boats. So the question is, how am I gonna whittle this down? So the most important things are the split indicator here, which means that water has to be in here but split. Nice use of the no boat, yeah. So the water has to be split at the top, so that means the only way you can do this with 4 is that one of the, there must be a hole in them. No, you can have a water here or water here or water here, water here, water here, water here. That's not useful for me at the moment. This one says all the water has to be together. This one also says water has to be together. So if I put a boat here, I'd need to put water at the bottom, right? And if... would that work? No. So there's just 1 boat. If I put that 1 boat at the bottom, that means water going across there. And the problem is I need to put split water at the top. And I can't do that. Right? I can do mistakes, right? Oh no, let's put the water in. I put water there, and then I need to do split water at the top, but I've got to put water all the way through here as well, right? Because because it's got to be together. Maybe something like that. I feel like I'm overthinking this. I think that's... Wow, okay. It's getting out of control here. Let's just take these X's outside of using the right click. There's only one way to put the split water at the top. Oh, yes, you're right. I didn't see that. That's the thing that happens sometimes. I don't notice the splits. The outlines. If you fill this up, there's only one way to put the split at the top because there's only effectively 3 cells at the top. These two are in the same aquarium. So the only way to do a split is to put water here and water here. So that has to happen. I thought it was 4 separate cells. Silly me. So now you see this says the water must be all together. They've got to have water in the middle there. That fills everything up here. That means there's only one place for the boat. There. Now I've got to fulfill this final criterion here. All these cells must be together. There we go. That's done there. Now there's another mechanic I want. The other one, is it on this one? Okay, yeah, here we go. Aquariums expected. Now, this is telling you how many areas you want and how much water, how many areas. How do I say this? Okay, this is saying it doesn't. All of the aquariums with no water in, there must be none. Okay, so every aquarium's going to have something in it. Then you're going to have at least one aquarium that has 2.5 waters, and one with 3 waters. I will say, I hate this interface. It's quite difficult to read. I'm always reading it wrong. I tend to see it like saying, I almost said it just now, right? I need 3 of these. I need 3 of these. I need 3 ones. No, I need 1 3. And the downside of the mobile version, this is actually worse because these requirements are hidden on the bottom. You have to press something to bring them up because it's all fitted onto a vertical portrait. Maybe if I hold it sideways, it will flip. I haven't tried that. I'm going to try that right now. Here we go. I'm just going to try this out right now. Come on in. Come on. Open up Liquidum. And so I was constantly having to press the button to flip back and forth. And the thing is, there's a tiny little question mark, which says that, you've got... I'm going to turn it around now to see what happens. No, it doesn't turn sideways. I didn't think it did. There's a little question mark at the bottom where you have to click to show the requirements, and I miss it all the time. I'm spending half the puzzle thinking, ooh, I don't have enough conditions to solve this puzzle. I just don't see these extra requirements. But yeah, there you go. This is what happens, on the later puzzles. And I think the last island is like just lots of hard stuff. There are also a couple of, I don't know if you'd call them DLCs, but there were some extra bits at small and tricky islands. It was very interesting. And something with puzzles which are reflected. There's also the daily level, a hard level that changes daily, which I have been working on. I don't think I'm going to do this right now because sometimes it takes me about 15 seconds. Really, you did this in 14 seconds with no mistakes. But other times, I think what I did took me like about 20 minutes. These are obviously going to be procedurally generated. I don't think they feel as satisfying because sometimes you feel like you're having to plot like about 3 different things at a time rather than, just trying to do a bit of fact combining. And as you can't draw on it as well maybe I can now. I can do mistakes. It can make it pretty tricky to figure some of these things out in your head. But when I'm looking at a puzzle like this, I'm thinking, I'm looking for things like the splits. Can they tell me something about that row, or this half? Where's that? A row with less on it and a row with lots on it. It's a bit like, you know, if it's 5 wide and it says 3, it's not very useful necessarily. But yeah, I have actually done this puzzle on the mobile today already. Anything else I want to mention about? It does get quite hard. Some of the levels I have stared at for a long time. And I can never quite, you know... I'm always seem to be missing a couple of tools for some of those really hard levels where I feel like I had to plot like about 3 or 4 moves in advance to figure out, you know, which solution to take. And I'm like, have I missed a very simple rule here which would unlock the puzzle for me? So cool, Nico's pointing out the 0.5 with a bracket seems pretty redundant. Yes. You get this either on the procedurally generated stuff. Don't think you'd see that in the game. What does make sense is like having a question mark and the brackets. It's different from a question mark. You know that if you have to do multiple, then it's gonna have to be, you know, they have to be together. But this, it's just a single. It's a single half. We've got everything here, haven't we? Got water's missing. It's giving the water count. The boat's missing. So there's one boat on here somewhere. I think there's not too many spaces for the boat, right? You could put that there or there. And that is it. It's just in one of these. I'm already thinking about how to solve this. Stop. We already did this once today. And you've got an aquarium listing. 1.5. So I'm doing it again. I need a 1.5. Where are the 1.5s? There's 1.5 up here. There's a 1.5 here. It's quite a few 1.5s, and there's a 1.5 there. And you could make a... No, this can't be a 1.5. That's minimum. It's a 2. Oh, well, there's another one there. Look at that. There's 4 of the damn things. So we want 3. So one of those isn't supposed to be filled. And 2 1s. Yep, so I did that earlier today. I'm not going to show you the solution. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you because you might want to get the game and solve it in the next couple of hours. And I want to take that joy away from you. But yeah, I went... Oh, that's not everything as well. There's an explorer mode which seems to be producing sequence of procedurally generated levels. Medium I found pretty easy to go through. I haven't tried hard yet, but if it's got diagonal on boats, then it's obviously harder. Then we got expert, may use any rules. What is insane? It doesn't tell me. It just says I have to complete all levels. There's also, you can create your own levels, and there are workshop levels that other people have left. I downloaded one just to see. Here's Liquid Paradise that someone created. It wasn't too difficult to solve this one. But yeah, the community can also make its own levels. It's a slightly bit of a strange faff to get them in, but it is what it is. It can take you to the Steam. It'll take you to the Steam page, and you have to hit subscribe on them. But yeah, that is Liquidum. Oh, just so you know, if you're wondering what this in the corner is, it's your profile. You can play multiple profiles using this thing in the corner here. So I pretty much enjoyed that. As you could probably tell, as I completed it all on mobile, and I did a lot of levels on the desktop version as well. Some of them get quite tough, and it's got a nice range of like kind of easygoing fun levels and the kind of stuff which basically need you to smash your head into a wall several times. That's Liquidum. So let me just give you the link in the chat. The team are from Brazil, if I remember rightly. This works on Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. There's no iOS version at present. I don't know if that's coming. Don't read too much into me saying at present. Just trying to make sure this is a future-proofed video for future reference. That's Liquidum.